Today I'm using the Vintage Emporium 12 by 12 collection kit, My Prima Planner Shapes 2 metal die set, Julie Nutting's Haute Couture 1 metal dies, and the Prima Doll stamp Marisa. I'm going to be creating a pocket divider with a tag. I'm using this 12 by 12 sheet from the paper pad, and I'm going to cut at 9 inches wide. And then for the length, I'm going to cut at 8 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to do some scoring, so I'm using my scoreboard. On the 9-inch side, I'm going to score at 3/4 inches, 4 3/4, and 8 3/4. This is going to leave me a 1/4 inch side tab for the adhesive. I'm going to turn to the 8 3/4 inch side and score at 8 1/2, and this is going to leave me a 1/4 inch bottom tab, and that's what creates the pocket. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold in the center, and I'm going to burnish using my bone folder. I'm going to fold in those side tabs and burnish those score lines as well. And then I'm going to also fold in that bottom tab and burnish that also with my bone folder. Now I'm going to cut out 2 of those tabs using my scissors. I'm going to cut that smaller piece, the corner, and then also the longer piece. Now I'm going to cut at an angle for this tab and do the same on the other side. And then I'm going to adhere the pocket in a little bit. Now I'm going to take the Marisa doll stamp, and what I'm doing here is I'm using this stamping tool and I'm placing it right on top of that front pocket, and this is where I'm going to use the metal die by Julie Nutting. Now I'm just going to position her right in front of that pocket, and I'm just placing the die right on top of the doll stamp, and this is going to give me an idea exactly where I want to cut the dress out on the pocket here. So I'm just making sure it's all nice and lined up. I'm going to take some washi tape, and I'm basically going to adhere that metal die on the paper. Once I remove that doll stamp, I'm just going to place it right on that same spot, and then just take some washi tape and adhere it down. Now I went ahead and die cut that out, and that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to take this tab here. I'm using this Stampin' Up! Ticket punch to give a decorative look on the top. This tag measures 8 1/2 inches in length and 3 7 1/8 inches in width. Now I'm just folding in those side tabs because I want to make sure that the tag is lined up with that front pocket. So you can see I'm just folding in those bottom and side tabs, and then I'm just lining it with the stamping tool. I'm going to take that magnet and place it on the right side of that pocket. I'm going to take back that stamp, and I'm going to position her right underneath that dress. So this is where I know where I'm going to stamp the doll onto the tag. So now I'm going to go ahead and close that window, press it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink her up. I'm using some black tuxedo memento ink. Now with the pocket, I'm going to go ahead and adhere just the side tab for now. So I just fold in that side tab, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a good press. Now you'll notice I didn't fold in that bottom tab because I'm going to fold that over. That way the tag, when it goes inside the pocket, it slides in easy and it doesn't get caught with that bottom tab. So I'm just going to give it a good press. Now to create the holes, I'm going to take that die from the same metal die set and place it right. You can see where I'm positioning the pocket. I make sure on the bottom it's right above the blade so it doesn't cut the bottom. So make sure when you die cut that out that it's right above the bottom blade. Now I die cut another dress from another design paper, and I went ahead and colored in her hair and skin. And you can see when I place that tag right inside the pocket how it fits perfectly. It's nice in position with the stamp. Now I'm going to take that die cut of that dress, place it right on top. That way it's nice and lined up. And then I'm just going to adhere it to the tag. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull that out, and you can see how it just fits perfectly. And that's a great way to make sure it's all nice and lined up. Now I forgot to color her shoe, so I'm just going to quickly color that in. See one of my Copic markers here. So I'm going to go ahead and place her in again, and you can see how that works. So you don't see the doll, but you see the dress. Now this tab die is part of that Shapes 2 die set, and I'm going to take one of these planner stickers and take the June sticker and place it right on that tab, and then I'm just going to go adhere that to my pocket. And so this Shapes 2 metal die set comes with a lot of dies, and it's a really fun planner die set. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that to the pocket like so, just giving it a good press. Now I love these glitter reinforcer stickers. They're so pretty, and I'm just going to add it to the already pre-punched holes there. So I'm just taking 6 of those glitter reinforcer stickers. And now I'm going to take some of these gorgeous Prima flowers, and I'm just going to take 3 of them from that pack. I'm just taking the colors that kind of coordinate really well with the paper. So I'm taking this really pretty pink one, and I'm just using some Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm just going to place that down. And I'm going to take this cream colored flower and then just tuck that right underneath. And then the last one is a white colored flower. And then tuck that underneath on the other side. So I'm just kind of positioning them till I get to where I like the way it looks. So I'm just kind of moving it around. And I like how that looks right there. And that's the project. These are super fun and really a great way to use these metal dies and the doll stamps, and they look really pretty in your planner. So I took my Julie Nutting planner, and I'm going to place it right in the June section here. So I'm just placing it right in between, and there you go. Makes a really fun and pretty divider using your metal dies and stamps. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.